Welcome to One Piece versus 4K podcast, where we compare the One Piece 4 Kids anime to the Funimation dub, sometimes sub, and throw in comparisons to the manga. I'm Ben,
I'm wrong.
and we are back again today for our 43rd. I guess that's right. 43rd. That sounds weird saying that. We're back again today for our 43rd episode of the One Piece versus 4K podcast. This will be the final episode of season one. So strap in and get ready for this great finale of season one.
Yeah.
But yeah, what before we get into the episode, what's been going on with you and in the world of One Piece?
A bunch of stuff actually. It's been like a while since we last did this. Um, chapters have been a bunch of chapters have been released. They've been really quality chapters. We've been focused a lot more on the Sanji Zoro fights recently. Yeah, they've been really interesting. We've been starting to like Sanji is kind of one of these characters where he's like a very kind of like emotional character, I guess. Um, he's one of the I guess like the hidden emotional characters. Like we often tend to overlook how much like how caring I guess his character is, and like the inner conflict he goes with some of his actions. And it was interesting to see how he combated some of those. And then Zoro was kind of having his own internal battles um, as he was fighting his current opponent. And we started to kind of look into a little bit of Zoro's past. There was actually a flashback into Zoro's past in one of the chapters, which was pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing it animated because we'll be going back all the way to the East Blue during the flashback. So it was very nostalgic. For people to think back to the East Blue, considering where we're at in the anime right now. Um, and so yeah, it's been like really good. And the anime has been like amazing. Like the flashbacks are finally over. We're back in the present, and they're set to face like they're in the enemy's lair now, and a lot of stuff is going on. And yeah, it's been good. And the thing is, I think we see the end of this arc finally approaching. Um, for for this arc because actually one of the One Piece anime YouTubers, Grand Line Review, he talked about how there was actually so since the start of Wano, which was I want to say it was either 2018 or 2019, that's when Wano started. And since the start of the first chapter of Wano, there was actually another manga that started and ended, and Wano is still going on.
Oh my god.
Like an entire manga series started and ended, and yeah, that's how long Wano is going on. But fortunately, and Wano is by far the biggest arc in all of One Piece. Like it is the biggest arc so far in all of One Piece, and it
So
is.
everyone's just ready
Um,
for this arc to be over with.
I mean, sort of. I mean, we're really enjoying it, but yeah, it's like such a long arc that like I think there is a bit of fatigue, but like we're also really enjoying everything that's in
Yeah.
this arc. It's just because of the pace that we're in, and I think that this is the same thing even without COVID. Like since it's like week to week to week to week, um, it's like something that goes on, and then you can kind of it's all exciting, but it's like it's been going on for so long, um, and then you add in all the breaks that are needed because of COVID. It's been stretched out even longer, so there's like a lot of fatigue with it. But we've actually been really enjoying this arc too, and as this arc is ending, um, at least like as it kind of reaches its climax, like I think some people are like, whoa, it's about to end. Oh man. And so yeah, it's I think we finally are starting to see the end of this arc because a lot of the major fights have concluded, and there are still, I want to say, in terms of the big battle that's going on right now, there is one, two, three, four major fights that are left. One, actually, two very epic fights that are left. Three fight that is epic in its own way, but like it's not the biggie, but it's like tier two. I'll put it that way. It's still big, but it's like tier two. Like these other fights are much bigger. So it's like two tier one fights have to conclude, then one tier two fight has to conclude, and then one like this is like between tier three and actually two between tier three and tier four fights have to conclude, and then a couple of tier five situational things that are going on have to get resolved. But like with everything that's been going on, we're finally seeing kind of like the end of this arc approaching. And, you know, I think some people thought this arc would be over by the end of this year. Obviously, it's not. But I think it's fair to say that this arc will probably end by the end of 2022. But
Damn.
yeah, yeah. At least the manga. I don't know how long the anime is going to go for. Because the anime has to go at its own pace. But very exciting with all the stuff that we learned. Because like, dude, like even though this arc is so long, there's just so much information that we learned. It was like this arc is very information overload heavy. Like there's like so much history that's being learned, and in one of the recent Q&A panels that Oda does in some of his after every couple of chapters he does like these Q&As where like users will constantly send him questions and then he'll answer like a couple of them. He actually talked about how um, he he watches certain One Piece YouTubers from time to time. I think it's mostly the Japanese One Piece YouTubers, and he says that he had to stop watching them because like some of like with the in-depth analysis that a lot of them do, like they tend to figure out like a lot of parts. So because of that, he says he stopped watching it because
He doesn't want
some
to
of them
change
are,
it.
yeah, some of them are accurate, but then some of them may influence a change
Yeah.
to what he does. So he doesn't want it to influence what he's writing, so he stopped watching them. And I think it's mainly the Japanese One Piece YouTubers that he watches because there was this one Japanese One Piece YouTuber named Uteron, and the thing I don't obviously the thing that we don't really pick up in the West because we don't know Japanese is like numerology or wordplay with numbers, where whatever the Japanese word for 1020 is, um, he takes the entire he takes the entire number and then he like cuts it up as like he cuts it up into separate stuff, and then he'll kind of like wordplay it. Oh, Jugu Jugu means this or whatever. I'm obviously like messing this up, but like he'll go in, he'll like read out the number in Japanese, and then he'll cut up the number into two separate things and say, this is what it is, and he'll cut up the numbers in a different ways to kind of explain like the different variations of like what this could potentially tie into what this chapter is going to be about. And the reason he does that in each of his chapter reviews is that he can kind of predict what happens in future chapters. And I think he mentioned something about chapter 1123, something big happening around that. Or I think it's chapter 1123. It could be another chapter. I forget which one it is. It's for anyone who wants to know. Uh, One of the other One Piece YouTubers, a Western One Piece YouTuber named Ohara, he actually does an interview with him, and in the interview, Yuteron actually mentions how people should watch out for this one specific chapter that's going to come in the future. Um, because of all the numerology plays, and obviously One Piece, like they every I don't know how many chapters that are in one volume, but there's like a lot of numerology play that goes into I think a lot of Japanese manga. Um, it's why Attack on Titan only had 139 chapters because I think the number 139 had to do with like finality or something. And they're saying that like Oda, I think he's trying to aim for 139 volumes because of that finality number. So I think I think we're close. I think we're somewhere around one early 100s. So we still have ways to go, which is probably why he mentioned that the manga is probably going to end in 5 years. But it looks like it's going to probably be like maybe 6 to 7 years. Actually, probably now 5 to 6 years. But
Maybe
yeah.
20 more years. Yeah.
No, supposedly he when in the apparently when he turns 50, he wants to like I don't know, I guess like take a break and just travel all across the world with his family or something. Obviously,
The
50
dude's
he's like
not 50 yet?
no, he's like 45.
Wow.
Dude, he started One Piece I think at age 22 or something.
Oh shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, or maybe 22, 23, something like that. Actually, the I think one of the like I don't know synopsis or like rough sketches, something that he did when he was like 17 or 19 or something. Um, so One Piece has pretty much been his world for all his adult life. But so yeah, like apparently when he turns 50, he wants to do this. But obviously, since COVID kind of delayed everything, um,
Nah, he'll just make sure to finish it. That's his goal. He's just gonna be like, screw you. I'm out of
yeah,
here.
I mean, like apparently, like he's outlined everything so that should anything happen, his assistants could take over and finish up the story how they want, like
Yeah.
however quickly they want. And the reason I say that is because the dude's work life balance, work ethic is like insane. Like apparently he only sleeps like 2 3 hours a night or something. And part of the reason he does this intentionally to spark some inspiration because he said when you're at your most like tired you get like all this like I don't know I guess you hallucinate and he gets like a lot of inspiration from that or something.
When
It's
you're at
very
your
unhealthy.
when you're at your most tired, you get the stupidest ideas, and that's why it's perfect for One Piece.
Yeah, I guess so yeah. And it led to like a lot of health issues because he's also a smoker too.
Oh yeah.
uh Dude's like a craze.
So
I
is
don't want
so
to say
is
he's a
so is Chaser based off of him?
yeah, probably not. I mean a lot of characters smokes like
Yeah. I don't know, man.
um,
Sanji doesn't
Sanji
smoke.
smokes. Yeah,
No,
true.
he doesn't. It's just a lollipop.
Yeah, because yeah, I mean, obviously, like, there's like a bunch of characters who smoke, but like, yeah, like someone did a thing, and apparently he had this one ashtray with like a whole bunch of cigarettes. So yeah, he's had some health issues. So like his, I think, like Shonen and his assistants, everyone kind of forced him to take a break. I think so. They have this cycle of like three or four on, one off or something.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
So
say. I thought you were gonna say they have.
it's and apparently it's been better for him, and he's tried to take care of his body a little better.
I thought you're.
But yeah,
I thought you were gonna say they forced him to stop smoking for 3 weeks, and then, and then he can start smoking again to try to extend his.
yeah. Um, and so yeah, that's kind of been what's been going on with that. And then one thing I think that I do think we should probably mention is the situation with Totally Not Mark. Have you heard of this situation?
No.
So, to kind of catch you up on that, so Totally Not Mark is an anime review channel. They're not
Oh
just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Yes, I did hear about the situation. Yes, yeah, about how
yeah, Toei.
yeah, Toei's starting to take down his videos, even some stuff that have like no clips of the episodes or anything. Right? They've claimed it as
Yeah.
copyright.
Yeah, it's like he just took like one frame from the show or something. Like just one, not like an animation, just one frame from one of the episodes or something. So yeah, it really sucks what happened to him because apparently they took down like 150 videos or something, 3 years worth of his life or something. He was able to get some of them stated back, but I think it's still like at least 2 years of his work is still like demonetized or something. He says he's kind of moving on from that. I'm not sure what happened. A lot of people rallied around him, like
Yeah.
Joey the Anime Man. He like talked about it in his. I think PewDiePie talked about it in his. Philip DeFranco covered it in his show. And even a lot of the One Piece AniTubers also covered it in their channels too. And so yeah, like they really kind of rallied around him. I'm not
Well,
sure what
I
happened
think
with him.
I found this picture on Google, so I guess come after us, Toei. But it might the background for our podcast might be copyrighted. The background picture
It
it
should
counts
be
as one
because
frame, and also the logo counts as a frame from the TV show. So I think we're screwed. I'm just kidding. I mean, hey, we
no,
got the episodes backed up, so we can go to Daily Motion or just upload them exclusively to Anchor or whatever if we need to. But
yeah,
yeah,
not
I
only
doubt we'll
that,
have to worry. We're so small.
yeah, not only that, but also we could like our logo is like the logo for the One Piece manga, so it's like
Oh,
it's
okay,
more
yeah,
so shonens than toei's. So
yeah,
Toei can suck my balls.
yeah. Either way, I mean, hey, we did have that one problem with someone copyright trolling us.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, I
That
think
was
it was because of the episode name. I think like someone had like, but it didn't say it was Toei or anything like that. It's just so it's
oh,
like some random company.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that like you know like the is it Rule 34 or Rule 74 or something? Um, where if it exists, there's like a portal for it or
Oh yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Similarly, like with most anime and mangas, like there's like a dojin for it, which
yeah.
is like a hentai comic,
But they're
and
fine.
yeah,
They're able to get around the copyright laws
yeah, they're like so it's kind of weird. It's because often like these
because it's
reviewers are like
drawings. Though I think they can't copyright. Like I don't know.
yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess like it may just be shonen. And like publishers like Shonen, I guess like Kodansha, like I guess they're more lenient with their I guess like IP just because they know that because it's like reading, it's not like watching a TV show, it's like reading a comic. I think they're more open to having people, use it because it'll attract viewers to their thing because I'm sure a lot of people started reading the One Piece manga because of channels like
Yeah,
Trading and stuff.
I
So
mean, all this stuff is honestly all it really seems like when when you get to the bottom of like if they're taking him down because he has a still from the thing or like one tiny moving piece from the episode. All it really comes down to seeming like is that Toei's out of touch or whatever. Like you can say that it's like they're just trying to protect their copyright, but there's nothing to protect there.
yeah,
There's nothing you're showing. So yeah, but I mean, I'm sure. I don't know how that's gonna end up for him. I hope the best, but I don't. I think it's more confusing with him being here and them being in Japan and like the difference of country. What's allowed there and what isn't here. Like if it was here, he would have so much more grounds to stand on. They can't do. They. I don't think they could do. Like if you post if you have a podcast about Big Bang Theory and you have a still from the episode, I don't think there's any copyright laws grounds for them saying you're uploading an episode.
actually, so the official One Piece podcast, or maybe it's the unofficial One Piece podcast, like they have a lot of ties with like the voice actors and stuff and the anime YouTubers and stuff. Like they're really connected with at least the Western side. They said that like they don't upload on YouTube anymore because of Toei. Like they said they mainly like put their stuff on like iTunes and
Yeah.
I guess like Spotify and stuff because like apparently they dealt with Toei in the past and they don't want to do it again. They actually commented on this and so yeah, it's crazy because like this is like these are like people who have like direct connections with like the voice actors and all of
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
I
if
mean,
they're also having troubles, and it's like
yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, there's always bullshit copyright stuff going on everywhere no matter what. Like there's there is there's a game studio called Take Two,
Mhm.
and they they're related to Rockstar, who makes Grand Theft Auto, and they're somehow related. Um, but what happened that's really stupid is
Mhm.
another studio, EA released a game. They released
Mhm.
a game, and the name of the game was called It Takes Two. And Take
Uh-huh.
Two sent EA basically a like legal letter saying they cannot trademark the name of the game after the game's already released. They sent them like a legal paper saying they cannot make any money or trademark that name It Takes Two because it's the name of their studio.
Mm.
Like it has nothing to do with it. Like there's
Dude,
no way anyone could be confused. Oh, this game must be released by Take Two or whatever. But like it's just them trying. What they're saying is it's just them trying to protect their copyrights or whatever. And apparently they said that they've like Take Two on behalf of Rockstar has like contacted gyms called like Rockstar Gym or whatever, saying you can't have your name like this. We're trying to take you to court because of the name. Like, or you might confuse it that it's related to the Rockstar video game company.
yeah. No, dude. I mean, I totally get it if for them doing it against something as big as EA because if they don't, then like when EA goes ahead and does this, they'll then like go after that. Like it's one of those things where like when they get so big, it's like often like the big guys will kind of go after the little ones. So I don't know how big Take Two is, but if they're a pretty small or even medium sized company, I can understand why they do it because yeah, some like yeah, I totally get why they like have to do it because they know that like down the road EA will like try to fuck them over, um,
Yeah,
with like copyright stuff, saying, oh, we're obviously like I'm sure like they'll tell the court system, oh, our company's bigger and like all of this, even though it's like ours is bigger, so it's like ours has more name records. So for that reasons, I completely get like their situation
yeah,
of
but
going.
like it's still ridiculous though because like the game was called It Takes Two. It's a play on the song It Takes Two. So like and the
Yeah.
song existed before the Take Two studio. So it's like Take Two can't then send a letter to the the person who made It Takes Two and says you can't have that song. That was there before them. So like they don't even like technically. I mean, they only own the name Take Two. So I don't know. It's a little bit ridiculous, but I guess we'll see how it goes through.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that screws over EA for not improving GTA 5 or Madden, good on them.
Yeah,
EA.
or both of them. It's just both of them pissing contests. But yeah.
They have. I finally started playing GTA 5, and I'm still going through it. I just don't know how to start the next uh, part of the main story. It's like you need to switch characters, and I just don't know how to switch characters. I need to look that up online
What
to
are
see
you?
how I can switch characters.
What are you playing GTA 5 on PS4?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've only played GTA 5 online on PS3. I did a thing with one of my friends the other day.
Mhm.
Just playing that game runs like shit on PS3. I mean, it's not like you're gonna go and play it on PS3, but that game's terrible on PS3. But speaking of, I've never played the game actually. I just played the first level because you had to get onto the online mode. But I'm
Okay, okay.
actually really excited for that new DLC that they're coming out with that has Dr. Dre in it. Uh,
Okay, 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 okay.
I think I might just play. Like I think I'm just gonna probably just skip to just that DLC,
Okay, okay.
just for the hell of it, and just see if I enjoy it. If I do, I might try to play the game. Yeah, I just never been a big fan of the GTA games. I hate the way I feel like the game revolves so much around driving, and I hate the way the cars drive in that game. But actually, it seems like it's a little bit better in GTA 5 than it is in the older one. So I probably just need to give it a chance.
Yeah, from what I heard from, and this is only because I watch Conan Plays,
Oh
Conan
yeah,
does his video game reviews. But yeah, Aaron Blair, who I think he's more in tune with like video games and stuff, he talked about how like the studio put a lot of emphasis on driving in GTA 5, which is probably why driving is like so big. I mean, there's like races in GTA 5 and stuff, so that's probably why. But yeah, Ben, what's been going on with you? I guess like since we last kind of didn't have some. What's been going on?
uh, not much. Just been playing a bunch of. Well, I haven't even been playing that many games. I played a little bit of the new Pokemon game. I mean, it seems like it doesn't seem like we have not talked that long, but at the same time, it does seem long. Like, because I look back when we recorded the last episode, that was before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I played some of the new Pokemon. I been playing more Borderlands with my friend on this Twitch channel on Sundays, every Sunday, and then I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links on my phone
Mm.
randomly. I don't know why. I'm actually kind of enjoying that. I don't know if I'll stick with it. I tried playing it before and then just gave up. Uh, but I've officially played more games of Yu-Gi-Oh! On this app than I did before. So maybe I'll stick with it.
Okay.
Um, and then, other than that, I started a new thing that's kind of funny, and I've been. So we own every single Just Dance game,
Hmm.
and I made it a point that I am going to play every single song in every single Just Dance game. I mapped it out. I'm gonna try to do two a day until I finish it, and I've mapped it out, and it's gonna take like 2.5 to 3 years.
Oh, nice.
So it's just a random thing. I'm mostly doing 2 songs a day. A couple days I've done like 4 songs. But yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I do like 2 songs a day. And I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know why. I just felt like I had all the games and I was just letting them go to waste. And I mainly got them for Laura because Laura likes playing them.
Mm.
But I was just like, you know what? I got them all. Let me just start doing it just for something fun to do.
Are you gonna stream it?
No, because so I might stream it, but the thing is there's a bunch of stupid copyright issues with the songs, um,
Yeah.
and apparently Just Dance is okay as long as you delete your your on-demand videos.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but from what I heard, if you're really unlucky, they can still just shut down your channel. Uh,
Oh, man.
so if I do it, I will create another channel and call it like Neo's Just Dance. And if it gets deleted, who cares?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
but
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't know if I want to stream it because like I'm literally just doing 2 a day, and then like I'm doing it at different times, depending on when I have time. So
Okay,
it
okay,
would be
okay.
like a
So
random thing.
how long is each song? And I guess like how long is how long is the 2 a days?
Each song is about 3 minutes long, so it would be like 6 minutes a day.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
mean, it's
okay,
just a
okay.
regular length of a song, so like the average length of a song is like 3 minutes.
Okay, I was thinking it was one of those like hour long things that you do.
No, no. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I actually so I can just stream it in Laura's Discord because nothing can happen if I do that. I actually did do that once, and a couple people from Laura's Discord came and watched. So I might do that in random days. It's funny, my laptop is small enough that I can set it in front of the TV and like connect the webcam to my laptop, and I can still like see the TV and everything. So like I might just do that randomly and like just like whenever I have the chance and if I have the time I'll just set it up real quick. It takes like 2 seconds. So
Dude, like this is like our kind of like 5 year plan things. Like some people have like whatever career, whatever nonsense they think of, but this is like our 5 year thing.
yeah, except I don't know how like I'm ready to end this podcast once we get to the end of Four Kids. I'll
Dude,
probably
yeah.
still watch. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how invested I get into it. Um,
I, um,
but I'm thinking like if I make it all that way, if I'll still watch it. Like I don't know. Like the one thing about this podcast though is it's so much for me to write that I wish I could just remember everything in my head, but I can't.
like, so I'll put it this way: like, if at the end of this podcast, One Piece is something that really intrigues you and that you want to continue to watch instead of read. Normally, what I'd say to people is that if you want to start One Piece and you want to, get caught up prior to the ending of the show, the best thing to do is to read the manga because the manga you can consume it at a faster rate. Um, because each person's reading is at a different speed. So for me, it took me about 2.5 hours to finish like 30 chapters. But for other people, they can finish like up to 50 chapters in like 3 hours or something. Each person's reading is at a different pace, obviously.
I think my
Um,
reading would probably be at the same pace as yours, if not slower. I get like really distracted, like with looking at like the pictures and everything too. But I
yeah.
realized too, like I'm sure there's not that much. Is there a lot of text in the mangas usually, or no, not really? Just maybe only certain pages.
Certain pages may have some. I mean, it's not like paragraphs of
Yeah.
text. It's like a couple of speech bubbles in
Okay.
each panel.
Yeah. Well, then
It's
that
like
might not be as bad. I do know
yeah,
some comics though, like it's some of like the earlier comics, like some of them at the very beginning they'll have like a little like summary like thing, and like that's what sometimes takes longer, like when reading comics. Like sometimes the comics aren't always just speech bubbles.
yeah. No, no, no. This one isn't anything like that. Although, like the thing is, like there are kind of some side stories in the like we have these things called cover stories
Oh yeah.
where it's like each front page like they'll do one panel in the front page and then it's like the combination of the front panel of like 3 to 4 chapters all combines into one story and this is actually something that we even saw in this first season um, like the Buggy's adventure where you see him go to like these different islands, meet like Goemon and eventually meet up with Alvida and stuff. Um, that was all like his adventures was all in a cover panel, but we saw it in an episode in like a full episode. We actually saw it in like a full entire episode. And there's actually another cover panel story that's going on right now regarding Kobe and Helmeppo's time in the Marines. And there's actually an episode dedicated to that I think we might watch later on. So yeah, there are these cover stories where it's like it kind of covers a bunch of stuff that the anime will like dedicate like an episode to, because these cover stories are canon. They're not like some fanfic. These are like canon cover stories, yeah, and the reason I tell people to read the manga at this point if they want to catch up by the time the show ends is, of course, you could watch the anime at a pace like say 4 or 5 episodes a day for like a year,
Yeah,
and get caught up that way by pacing it that way. Because the thing is like
but that's a lot. Like that's like
yeah,
almost 3 hours a day if you
not
do.
well, in four episodes is maybe hour and a half.
Okay, well,
Um,
yeah, because they're each about 20 minutes. Okay, yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
I,
but yeah, but see, the thing is, like, so like with the TV watching that I do, even when I do start watching an anime, I like the only time I ever watch it is like during lunch, and sometimes I don't have enough time to even finish two 20-minute episodes during lunch because I have to prepare lunch, and then by the time the hour's over, it's not enough. So yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I might read the manga then, maybe just to go faster if I'm still intrigued by it.
yeah.
Um, and
The other
yeah,
thing, yeah, and sorry to interrupt you, but like the other thing about the manga is that one, it's paced a lot better. There isn't a lot of like dead time, and what I mean by dead time is basically where like you have one scene where they're just all staring at each other intently for like 10, 20 seconds with no dialogue. Like
yeah,
when I was binge watching One Piece, I swear there were a couple of episodes where there was maybe like 5 to 6 lines of actual dialogue, and the rest was just staring in tension. And the episode had ended, and I'm like, what?
well, dude,
What
we
was?
yeah, I feel like we've talked about this a lot, but like that's the exact same thing to a T that Dragon Ball Z the anime did. Like I think I also mentioned this on an earlier episode. It was so I'm sure it's bad with One Piece. I wouldn't be surprised if they do this in the future, but especially when it ends. But like the filler stuff in DBZ was so bad that they actually re-released that show and cut out the filler, and they took away like 40 episodes.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, yeah, there was a bunch of episodes too of people just standing around doing nothing, talking to each other. So yeah, I feel like a lot of anime is like that compared to the manga.
yeah. I actually heard like with shows like Bleach, they said Bleach is one of the shows where it was like 70% filler and 30% canon arcs, and I think like they said something similar about Naruto, where it was apparently like 40% filler and like 60% canon or something. I'm not sure how
Yeah,
true it is because I haven't watched those shows. But yeah, yeah. One Piece does a. I mean, there is obviously like all of these like even though it is canon, it's like it's stretched out so much. So like in that situation, I'd say the manga is definitely way like paced evenly, like where it's obviously all of it's canon, but it's not like too stretched out. So yeah, that's why I usually recommend the manga because like like I said like in a 1 hour setting you can finish like you know 15 chapters maybe, or like I said, like for me 2.5 hours 30 chapters, which is roughly what 10 maybe 11 chapters an hour, something like that if my
yeah,
math's correct. um and with that it's like in a year, like it's like well actually 10 chapters 100 days is 1,000 episodes, 1,000 chapters, which is where we're at. So it's like much easier to catch up sooner with the manga, with reading the manga chapters rather than watching the anime. With the anime, it's like if you pace like 4 episodes a day, then by the end of the year you'll catch up, instead of like the end of the month or something. Um, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I think one thing that we should mention before we start is one, obviously Cowboy Bebop has been
Oh, I was
canceled.
gonna say that. Dude, this podcast we talked about this in anticipation, and now we're not even done with season one. And the I mean, this is our final episode of season one. But it's funny how we've talked about this. It's come out. I've finished watching all of Cowboy Bebop, the anime, and now the one season of the show came out and it's canceled. Like, man, that is bad. That and like, yeah, I don't get it. I Yeah, I saw like a spoiler for like what happens in the last episode, and it looked pretty bad. Like one of the characters that shows up. But I still, I started watching it. I only watched one episode of the live action, but I just kind of want to see where it goes. Still, I
Mm.
still kind of want to finish it, even though it's never gonna complete. Um,
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you, like, yeah, because I know, like, you've been, watching all the episodes and watched the movie in anticipation of the live action. So I was gonna actually ask you,
yeah, I
like,
mean, I did all that, so I still kind of want to finish it.
okay,
The
okay,
live action, just to see. Um,
what's your impression after the first episode?
I thought we, I thought we did we not talk about that on here? I don't
We
know.
may have.
We
Yeah.
might have, but it's weird because they cut like the first episode. Like they have like so Faye shows up in the first episode, which is I mean this episode like the first episode of the Netflix show is longer than an episode of the anime, so it kind of makes sense why she shows up. But what's weird is she shows up at a totally different place, like in an episode that she was never in, and
Mm.
that's weird and jarring. And then like the characters have like more backstories to them, and they have like a different slightly different backstory, so that's weird. um some of the I think the core cast, I don't have any problem with how any of them look. I think they're all good, but some of the supporting cast and the like villain characters, they look really shitty. And that just was kind of like ugh. And then like what was really weird is the show opens the anime opens one way, and
Hmm.
it's still kind of this show still kind of opens the same way. Well, actually no, it's kind of like there it's weird, like it's all over the place. Like the opening of the Netflix show has a part in it, like it has the plot, like a
Hmm.
plot point that's in the movie. Like the scene plays out like a scene that's in the movie, which is really weird because the movie takes place in episode 23. So like they like it's like they borrowed all from different parts of the anime and like tried to restructure it in a different way. um I mean, I didn't hate the first episode, but I was just like, what in the world are they doing here? Like, and like you start to question, like, I just watched this. Did I forget anything? And it's like, no, they are really changing all this stuff. And it's like, I don't know if that was the people's main qualms, but like, I feel like they should have, like, I don't think it's like a shot for shot remake is interesting. I think maybe I'd have to finish watching the whole thing to give you like a full review, but I feel like I think mainly the reason why people were just so down on it was just because of like how much they changed. I think they should change some things and like maybe change a couple outcomes and things. But yeah, I think they might have just changed too many things. That's probably why it got canceled.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Also,
obviously, maybe the reviews of it weren't good because they changed so many things, so people didn't watch it. So they saw that too, and they're like, ugh, not worth it.
yeah, yeah, because like I think one of the persons was telling me how like Netflix has the data on how many episodes people reach. Like they see like at what episodes people start to kind of like teeter off, like stop watching or something. And I think that probably led to why it got canceled or something. Um, but like after kind of like seeing this and the success of this, I am really concerned about the One Piece live action.
Yeah, I did
Um,
see that they. I did see. Man, this episode's gonna go on forever. But I did see they released like I saw they released the cast of the One Piece anime for Netflix.
yeah, yeah, we definitely we talked about this in the last episode, but yeah,
Yeah, well, I actually like saw the pictures of everyone.
yeah, and like I think the cast is fine. It's the character who's gonna play Sanji. Um, Actually, the actor who was gonna play Zoro, he apparently was actually in a live action for another show. I think it was Rurouni Kenshi or something. I'm not really sure what the anime was, but it was like a
Yeah,
sword fighting.
yeah, that's
Uh,
Rurouni Kenshi.
Yeah, and he was in the live action, and he had some like pretty good sword skills. So there's some promise with him. and the actress is gonna play Nami. I mean, Nami's not really one of these like I mean, the first season isn't as we're kind of wrapping up the first season, like it's not gonna be too like graphic intense because like for the most part it's like all regular people, like they're not
Mm-hmm.
like too outrageous. I mean, obviously Gaimon is a bit outrageous, but they can kind of work with Gaimon, and obviously the fishmen pirates are obviously different species. But regarding fishmen and like fishmen, like we do have something to kind of pull from, which is the Flash, because you know in the TV in the live action Arrow TV Arrowverse DC TV show Flash, there is that I
You think?
forget the name of the character, but
Yeah. You think the budget's gonna be as big as the CW show though? Because it didn't seem like the budget was as big. It was even as big as the CW show for Cowboy Bebop.
oh no, the budget for the first season of One Piece, rumors are is that like they've allotted 100 mil for the first season of One Piece.
So is
Um,
I don't know how much it took to make Cowboy Bebop. Was that a lot less?
I'm not sure. I don't know the official numbers around that. They just said that like for One Piece, they dedicated like 100 mil for One Piece, for the first season, for the first 10 episodes, which is gonna cover the entire first season or the East Blue Saga that we're about to complete today. Um, uh, which is kind of insane to me because the East Blue Saga that we're going to conclude today is the one saga that's not overly zany or like crazy. Everything is going to get a lot crazier moving forward. That's just what I'll say is that everything in the East Blue is like very like obviously Luffy is the one like unique character being a Gum Gum Man, but like you know we have some live action other like live action stuff regarding like a rubber person. Obviously in the TV show Flash there was Rubber Band Man. Was it Elastic Man? Is it Elastic Man or Rubber Band Man? I forget which. It's been a while since I saw Flash.
Yeah.
um yeah
Elastic. Yeah.
uh, Yeah, so it's like they have like some things with Elastic Man. They have I forget the name of uh the villain is it King Shark?
Yeah. Uh,
So it's like,
third 26. Yeah. Okay, I mean, it can be done, I guess. So I just looked up. They said the Flash series. Oh wait, that was 1990. Arrow. Uh, yeah. Huh. I don't know because it says here there's like 26 episodes of uh of Flash, right? How many episodes normally is Flash?
about 22 to 24.
Okay, so 22 times 2. So so it says that they have like a budget. Someone says they have a budget about $2 million per episode.
Hmm.
So that would be pitted out $44 million.
One Piece has 9 to 10 mil per episode.
Okay, so it should be better, but from what I saw here, is Netflix gave Cowboy Bebop around 6 to 7 million per episode.
Okay, so there's definitely going to be more money into One Piece.
There's gonna be more money, but I wonder if it's enough. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out.
It really should be
But
because
the thing is, it's just like I get that One Piece is huge, but One Piece is not is like okay. Well, I guess it's international too,
yeah.
but One Piece is not
Mhm.
as popular. I don't think that One Piece is as popular in the United States as Cowboy Bebop is.
Um, well, I mean, I'm not really sure because I've never really I've heard of Cowboy Bebop, and I've seen a couple of episodes over the years. So Cowboy Bebop definitely has more name recognition, than One Piece, at least in the U.S. But
Yeah,
I mean, One Piece has made up a lot of grounds. I think part of the reason the animation right now is so good is because the Funimation dub has finally reached the American audience and the English audience, and I think they're all getting caught up on it. So now more money is getting put into that, and I think that's probably why I think they have more money in their budget for this high quality animation that they have in this arc, in this Wano arc. So I think One Piece. I mean, the other thing is that like One Piece is actually close to surpassing um it's gonna soon surpass as the number one comic in the history of comics, like period. It's currently like number two or number three. I
Well,
think it's number two right now, but it's gonna surpass, I think, Batman or Superman as the most serialized comic
do
in history.
so they maybe. Well, hey, I'm curious if they got 10 million per episode, and I'm curious to see how much better it is. But the thing is, I'm wondering too. Like, sure you'll probably get a larger audience in Japan.
Hmm.
For Netflix, is Netflix in Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is because I do remember with the Cowboy Bebop series, they got the actual people that dubbed or that did the Japanese version to actually voice some of the characters for the Netflix adaptation for Cowboy Bebop. Um,
They have Indian movies in the original Indian language in Netflix.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but my thing is, okay. So what I'm wondering is if the One Piece series on Netflix will be greenlit for a second season if nobody in okay let if nobody or half the amount of people watch it in U.S. versus Cowboy Bebop, because I think you know what I'm saying. Like, is the viewership of the One Piece Netflix adaptation going to be higher than the Netflix Cowboy Bebop adaptation only in America?
Mm, okay, okay. I think I see what you're saying. That's gonna
And
be interesting.
I mean, maybe there's just that. I mean, One Piece is so big in Japan. I mean, I know it's gaining ground here too, but like
I mean,
maybe
it's not just
One Piece
Japan, dude.
is yeah,
It's huge.
but maybe One Piece
In
is so
Southeast
big
Asia and everywhere.
worldwide that it won't matter what U.S. happen, like what people in U.S. watch it. But the thing is I don't know. Like, I don't know any. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to do research. I don't know of any Netflix series that has come out here that's also been in other countries, that everyone here hated it, but everyone like enough people watched it or enough people loved it in a different country for it to continue on. I don't know if there's any precedence that's been set like that yet. I know there's been precedents set with movies though, like the that Monster Hunter movie and the World of Warcraft movie apparently did so good in China that they're in only because of how good they did in China that they're in talks for sequels.
Dude, One Piece is I mean, obviously it's like really huge in Japan, but
Yeah,
just like even outside of Japan, it's really big. It's really huge in a bunch of Southeast Asian countries like the Philippines and stuff. And it's actually pretty big in the anime watching community in the US too. It's pretty
yeah,
big. And actually
but
in anticipation of the 1000th episode, they actually had like billboards up on Times Square and stuff. It's up there now. It's definitely one of those like highly anticipated
they're
like
yeah.
yeah.
It might very well be there. So a lot of this, my thoughts too, is just anecdotal thoughts, and with people I know, there might very well be more people in the U.S. who have watched One Piece than Cowboy Bebop. But the only thing I know from firsthand experience, and it's just the people that I've known in through life or whatever. So it's not really scientific. But the thing that I know is that so many people have watched Cowboy Bebop that don't watch anime at all. Like they'll just be like, "Oh, I don't like anime, but I like Cowboy Bebop." I've heard so many people say that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm thinking like Cowboy Bebop was just huge, just because there's just been so many people that are just like, yeah, that's the only anime I like, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
Um
know, but obviously I think it's like
like Death Note, where like a lot of people who don't even watch anime know about Death Note and really like Death
Yeah,
Note.
yeah, yeah. But that's another thing. Apparently, that Death Note movie was even more hated. That Death Note Netflix movie was even more hated than Cowboy Bebop. But apparently, that's getting a sequel. That still hasn't been canceled.
Oh wow,
I
so
don't
that's interesting.
know. Yeah, I don't. I'm curious why that's. Maybe just because it's a movie and it's less of a budget.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, the thing is I'm really curious. I really want there to be an anime. I don't know why I should even wish this because they've all been so bad, but it would be nice for there to be an anime to live action adaptation that actually does well here. There hasn't been one.
yeah, no, no, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Not
yeah,
at least a series. Like I don't even the Ghost in the Shell movie. I mean, I don't think that did well enough here. I don't think there's ever going to be a sequel to that. So yeah, but that seemed like that would have been one of the things that had a high chance of doing good, but I don't think it did that good.
yeah.
But
No, I feel you. I feel
yeah,
you. I
it'll
feel you.
be interesting to see if some live like if Netflix
I mean,
actually
I think
pays
like
off by getting
everything.
these all these animes.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like almost like at least most of the live action adaptation of animes have been like getting a lot of like stake. Like even like I think Dragon Ball got like a lot of stuff. I think part of the reason is just because of like they
What
say that like it's pretty whitewashed or something. Avatar was like it was awful from what I heard. I haven't watched the movie, but I just heard that some of my friends who are like Avatar fanatics, they hated the movie. They're just like, why is the Fire Nation Indians or something like that? Um, so it's just with live action adaptation in general, but we'll see what happens. The only promising thing about the One Piece live action is that one of the showrunners for it, he actually wrote on I think it was Daredevil. I think he actually wrote some stuff for Daredevil, the Netflix show
Yeah, okay.
that they canceled because of that they only was it because they only canceled it because obviously Daredevil's now like property of Disney Plus, or was it another reason? I thought it was
I
they
heard it was
canceled it.
because of that. I also heard it was because Netflix doesn't like to do things past 4 seasons.
Okay, okay, okay.
Um,
Um,
so yeah,
so obviously, yeah, so he was part of the he was apparently a writer on the Daredevil, so there is that hope. Plus the other thing is that apparently Oda is apparently going to be pretty involved with the live action, and apparently he's people are telling me that like he's wanted to do a live action for like a while, so he was pretty happy that a live action was being done. So he's apparently going to have like a lot of input into the live action. So obviously that's going to be pretty interesting and cool to follow. So yeah,
I think a lot of it too is they just I think for it to succeed at all they can't deviate too much from the story. I think that was part of the problem with Cowboy Bebop, and two
yeah,
they have to get the they have to get the look of the characters right, and especially if they start doing I mean, like with all the fish characters and whatever, they cannot just go low budget on that. Like we see that here. I mean, like we see that here in America. And we just laugh at it. We just can't take it seriously.
yeah,
I mean, I think that's maybe that, but I mean everything like Flash has done so well, and that's really no different. And then like all these superhero movies have done so well, but their budgets are like gigantic.
yeah.
Um,
And there's also Pirates of the Caribbean, which has some fish-looking characters in it too.
yeah, they can just use the fish technology from 2004 and they'll be fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
if it looks as good as that, they should be able to do that now for a considerably less amount of money because of technology and how far it's advanced.
yeah,
So we'll see. But
No, if the
Yeah.
first season budget is 100 mil, I can't imagine what's going to be the next season, like season two, season two,
Well,
just because.
it's only going to be more if it is a success. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because the other thing is that, like, like I said, like the East Blue arc that we're finishing today, that is like it's the most normal, like I put this in quotes, normal, um, of like of an anime, like it's something that is as normal that you can adapt into live action as it can get, because like it gets crazier
Yeah.
in as soon as they enter the Grand Line. You're gonna see a lot more devil fruit users.
So the
The weather's
budget
gonna
better
be
be
cool.
higher.
It has to be, because you're gonna see creatures of different variety
Yeah.
immediately. So yeah, like animation wise, dude, it just, like I said, like it gets way more zany as soon as they enter the Grand Line. It's like way more zany. So it's like the budget's gonna have to like skyrocket, man. Like maybe not skyrocket, but it has to be pretty big. Because it's like I think after it feels like every arc after it always gets more zanier. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess let's get into this episode. I think this is going to be our longest freaking episode.
Yeah. Hey,
Maybe
it's
other.
the end of season one, so
Yeah, into
let's
season one
go get
special.
into it. Yeah.
Um, yeah. All right. So I'll start it off. So this episode, my episode's name was Buggy's Back.
Okay. So obviously with the Funimation being, or the anime being two episodes, it's obviously episode 52 and episode 53. The title of episode 52 is Buggy's Revenge, the man who smiles on the execution platform, and episode 53, the legend has started and head for the Grand Line. And the manga chapters that are being covered is chapter 99 and chapter 100. The title of chapter 99 is Once Luffy Died, and the title of chapter 100 is The Legend Begins.
Wow, what a freaking title! Luffy died.
Yeah.
Um, okay, yeah, and I was gonna say this title for the Four Kids dub makes no sense. I still don't. There's been all these puns and they kind of make sense. This I don't. Do you? Does this make any sense to you? Buggy's back. Is that like a pun on his back or like? Or it doesn't make any sense. He's been back for 4 or 5 episodes now. Like, so why are you calling this episode Buggy's back? Did they just have no other better thing to call it?
I mean, maybe it's because of his big reveal, I guess. Like in the past, I mean, no, they've been pretty open to show that it's Buggy. Maybe it's just because of his presence, I guess.
But I feel like he was in like the last 3 or 4 episodes as much as he's been in this one. At least with all the cuts that they've done.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, they could have honestly titled it a lot
They
better,
should have
but
just titled it Luffy is dead question mark or something. Or
or the legend begins or something. Yeah, so
Luffy
similar,
Luffy without a head or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but other,
yeah, go ahead.
yep.
Okay, I'll just start. So the episode opens with Luffy still on the chopping block. Buggy asks for final requests, and he says, or Luffy says, "How about he lets him go?" Buggy says, "Except for that." Luffy says, "Let him live," and Buggy says, "Except for that." Luffy then says he'll be king of the pirates. Buggy asks how. How will he wear a crown without a head? Buggy then tells him to say goodbye as Zolo and Sanji show up and they say that they have to stop Buggy and that well they tell like Buggy and his crew to stop and that Luffy has been granted a stay. Zolo then says this one joke has gone too far. Buggy then raises his sword to cut off Luffy's head as Zolo and Sanji rush onwards. Buggy's men all come after him as Buggy screams sorry, but his friends are too late. Zolo says he's got to save Luffy as we all of a sudden see Chaser uh, like like above, like watching above, saying get ready. We then see the sword inch closer to Luffy's head as Luffy smiles and tells Zolo and Sanji goodbye, that he's through. And
Actually,
yeah,
before we get to all of that, when he says he's going to be king of the pirates, was he like yelling out, "Hey, I'm going to be king of the pirates" to the entire crowd, or was it just between him and Buggy?
I mean the crowd is there, so everyone could hear.
No, no, because so the reason I ask is that initial conversation about basically like in the Funimation dub and also in the manga, like it's like Luffy's kind of mockingly telling like Buggy, "Hey, I'm sorry. Please let me go." All of this, and Buggy's like, "Why would I let you go?" He's like, Luffy's like, "Oh, it's an execution," and Buggy's like, "Yeah, it's yours," and he's like, "It's mine." And he's like, "What?" And then Luffy's like, "Hey, would you let me go?" And then Buggy's like, "No." Um, yeah, it was around that moment that Zoro and Sanji arrive, and then Buggy's like, "Any final words?" And it was at this point Luffy yells out to the crowd, "Hey, I'm gonna be the king of the pirates!" Out into the crowd, and everybody's like looking at him in shock. And one of the guys on the ground was like, "Why would he say that in this of all places?" Because obviously that's where Gold Roger was born and that's where he died. So yeah, that was like a huge. So yeah, the reason I wanted to point this out before we go further is that this was like a huge thing that like he would say this right as he was about to die. And, yeah, that's mainly why I wanted.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, he was saying it to Buggy in the crowd here, but it wasn't as big of a deal here. I guess because of things that they cut out or just the pacing, how it was. Um, but later on in this episode, you get to know why it was a big deal. They do make
Yeah.
that known.
Okay. So yeah. So the knife is approaching Luffy's head and go.
Yeah, all of a sudden, we see lightning outside the surrounding area, and it strikes to the ground, causing the gallows to begin to crumble. It strikes Buggy's sword and electrocutes him and sends the gallows toppling down. Buggy is then seen knocked out on the floor as Chaser looks on and tells his men to now move in and to surround the pirates. So is this about the same thing that happened to you?
Yeah, so basically, yeah, like right as I'm kind of surprised that they actually showed uh, Buggy almost about to chop off Luffy's head.
Yeah.
Because yeah, basically, like he's getting close to Luffy's neck, and you see like some sparks, and then the next thing you know, lightning bolt strikes um, the platform, and then you see Buggy just like the platform, everything falling down, and you see the hat just fall off and I guess this is where you're at. But yeah, so I'm actually kind of surprised that 4 Kids did actually show Luffy about to get beheaded. So, wow, yeah, interesting that they decided to show that.
Yeah, I mean, this whole time you saw that he was in a guillotine and that they didn't give a crap about him dying. I mean, they even alluded to him dying and chopping his head off multiple times.
Yeah,
I guess it was fine since he doesn't actually die and since nothing actually ever touches his head.
yeah. And wait, did Smoker, or I guess Chaser, did he say something about Luffy smiling right before he was about to get his head chopped off?
Yeah, that I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, so they come rushing in and they begin fighting them off. The navy of Chaser. Uh, Zolo then grabs Luffy and Luffy screams, "Help me!" And Zolo says, "It's me." Sanji then says they need to make it back to the ship soon or it'll be gone. They begin running towards the ship and knocking out everyone in their way. Chaser then recalls that Luffy stared Buggy right in the face and smiled just as Gold Rogers had done. Um, and, that's like a big moment. It kind of like shows, it cuts back and shows like Gold Roger smiling before he dies. It doesn't show him dying, it just shows him smiling. Um, and then at this point, one of his men comes up and informs them that they're escaping.
Yeah, the reason I asked that earlier is because during the Funimation dub, it's like right as Buggy was about to chop his head off, Luffy says, he says, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Usopp, sorry, I'm dead, and he
Yeah.
smiles. Right as he says, I'm dead, and he smiles. Um, Smoker says a little bit. He smiled, like he just said he smiled. He doesn't go into detail. He just says he looked shocked that he's like, oh, he smiled. Or like he was just like he smiled, and then you go on, and then later he has that dream of like recollection of Gold Roger also smiling as he got executed. So
Yeah.
that's why I asked if Chaser just commented how he smiled as he was about to get executed before going into detail.
Yeah, they didn't do that. They just had Chaser telling them to move in and surround the pirates. So I guess,
Yeah.
and they had him saying to get ready before. So like I guess they just said, well, they just cut it out because they're like, well, he says it again anyways.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah. Um. So then Chaser goes on to say at least that they've destroyed their ship. Oh wait, okay, hold on. So Chaser tells them to pursue, and how they handled that Doom Tower, he has no clue. Um, what else he has in common, with Gold Rogers. And Chaser says, "At least you guys destroyed their ship." Then his subordinate says, "No, the rain soaked the fuses of the cannons." And I'm just like, wait, what the hell does the rain have to do with stopping a cannon?
They have to light the cannon rope.
Okay, well, I
So in
guess
the
that's
manga,
considered a fuse, but that's,
yeah.
I don't know.
So in the manga, like they said that like the gunpowder was apparently like it got really wet with all the rain, so they had to get like new gunpowder or something. So that's why it got delayed. That's what they say in the manga.
Yeah, that would have made more sense, or if they would have said like I guess that's considered a fuse, but I think that more of like a wick, like I guess that's a fuse though. I don't know, man. I was just thinking like, what is these cannons electrical or something? um,
Yeah, and I think it was just they try to light a match and it just kept going out, and then the water
yeah, see,
just
that's
seeped
what they
in.
should have said. They should have said that we tried to light the cannons, but the rain put it out. Not it broke the fuse. I don't know, man. That's a weird translation. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So Tashigi then tells Chaser that if he and his crew can make it to the open sea, that they will escape for sure because of the direction of the wind. Chaser says it's crazy. It's as if the stars have aligned to ensure their escape, but he will not let them escape. We then see this like guy show up, like in a cloak, and he has like red tattoos on his face. Um,
Hmm.
and he says the winds of destiny are blowing woe to the man who interferes with fate. Or yeah, the winds of destiny are blowing. Woe be to the man who interferes with fate.
So the thing is, yeah, we do have that man as well, and right as he says it, um, he also says one more thing, and that's where the episode ends, and then there's one more episode. So we're actually at the end of I think episode 52 and going on to 53.
Yes,
Yeah,
so he does say one more thing. You want me to say it real quick?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so he then walks through the town and he says, these were all things that Gold Rogers has said, and that the passage of time, the flow of sea, and the will of a dreamer cannot be stopped so long as the dreamer has a heart that is pure and bold like Luffy's.
Is there any more?
No, that's all he says.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, he says all of that, but he also says, "Hey, so he wants to be king of the pirate. That seems like a mighty fine goal to me." And then that's where it ends in the um, Funimation dub. In the
Gotcha.
end, in
So
general.
that's weird that they
Yeah,
cut that out. I mean, I guess they're like, this man has talked enough. Next scene.
yeah.
uh,
Um,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, so yeah, then it continues on, and we see Zolo and crew running with Luffy towards the ship. All of a sudden, Kabaji, or Kabaji, performs an attack. The Four Kids dub calls it the Carnival of Colors.
Mm,
And I don't know what the hell. I don't think this. I looked this up in the Funimation dub. I don't. It does not play out this way. But after he performs this attack, which the Four Kids dubbed as Carnival of Colors, it then makes everybody fall in love with Alvida.
yeah. Um, no, I mean, I think it's just Alvida's beauty is why they all fall in love with
Yeah,
her.
but that's like literally you just see him doing that. You just see him saying that attack, and the next scene you just see them all in love with her. So it makes it seem like that's what his attack did.
Okay.
Yeah, because his attack in the Funimation is actually like a sword type attack, right?
Yeah, it's like a full sword attack, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so then Alvida knocks the men out with her spiky bat and says, "Looks like a case of love at first strike." Uh, Buggy then gets up and says, "Where is he? Which way did he go?" Kawaji asks how he survived the fall, and he says he laughed it off, but now they need to intercept Luffy's ship before he leaves. And I thought this part was really hilarious because he's asking him how he survived the fall when he got freaking electrocuted. Like I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke or what, or it's supposed to be like both. He's just asking him how he survived the fall, but I just thought that was funny. I'm like, that's not the worst thing that happened to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really say this, so I'll say it. Um, it's this weird thing where Luffy is pretty invulnerable, no matter from what height he falls, and he says he's a rubber man, so it doesn't really matter or something. Um, and this happens in like different parts. Like there's this one thing that happens in a much later arc, and he's just falling out of the sky, and he's like, "Oh wait, I'm a rubber man. I'll be fine." But everyone else is in trouble. And then there is this other arc where they are all the way up at this like rooftop almost, and he tells this person to throw him off. And the person's like, "I'm gonna throw you off from a large height." He's like, "It's all right. I'm a rubber man."
But that's Luffy.
Yeah.
Kabaji is asking Buggy how he survived the fall.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Just like, and Buggy responds, "I laughed it off."
Oh, okay, okay. He was asking about Buggy. I thought he was asking
Yeah,
about Luffy.
no,
I thought Buggy was asking about Luffy.
no, no, no. Yeah, Kabaji asks Buggy how he survived the fall, and Buggy says he laughed it off. And I'm just thinking, okay, but how did he survive the electrocution?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um, People survive explosions, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
people survive getting struck by lightning too. I mean, they do, but yeah,
Yeah.
but both, I don't think so. But obviously, that's not that wouldn't be no way for him to go out. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, at this point, Buggy calls for his clown car, and it appears from above. Uh, he like holds on to two wheels and rolls away, and he refers to it as his chop chop buggy.
So wait, this is like a clown car that he actually splits up his body into and forms, right?
No, like you see the wheels come down from the sky, and
Okay.
he's holding on to the wheels, like his hands are on the wheels, and his hand is on the front wheels, and his feet are holding the back wheels, and that's it. There's like like smoke coming out. It doesn't seem like it's part of him.
Because like I think from what I remember, he holds like actual like parts that make a bike. Um, but like it's like his body is kind of like part of the bike. Like he splits up his body to kind of attach to these different bike parts that that he holds onto as he goes. But yeah,
I mean, maybe you see it more in a later episode, but that's all I could tell from this.
yeah, yeah, it's fine.
So then Alvita, this part's freaking weird too. Alvita calls for her platter and then asks for the slip tracks and takes off her shoes and slides down like a slip and slide looking thing and starts like following Buggy and soaring towards the ship.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what happens in
yeah, yeah,
Funimation
yeah.
too. Okay. So then at this point, Chaser appears and performs an attack he calls Smokescreen and stops both of them in their tracks. He then tells his men to fire, and they shoot out net guns and catch them. Alvita calls it a steel net and says it was made with powers from a cursed fruit. Chaser says Straw Hat is next. Is that what happens?
Yeah, sort of. So, they call them. So yeah, they have like a net, and like it kind of weakens her and Buggy, because it contains sea prism stones. So sea prism stones are it's like these stones that have like I don't know if it's like water or seawater or maybe sea salt or something infused into them. So it's like it's imitating the sea because the sea obviously weakens. It makes devil fruit
Okay.
users immortal.
So
So
it's
it's
like a
like
kryptonite in a way.
yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So they make like different things using sea prism stones, such as this net that they wrapped around Buggy and Alvida.
Okay. Yeah, they don't explain that. They just say it's made with the cursed fruit.
Okay.
Okay, so we then see Nami and Usopp still running towards the ship as Navy men show up near them, ready to shoot something that looks like a rocket launcher at them. Um,
Okay.
we then see Chaser hop on his three wheeler and head towards Luffy. Luffy says it's been great. It would be great to know which way to go, as Zolo says, "Don't worry." Uh, Luffy never knows where he's going. Toshigi shows up and then calls Zolo a liar, to which Zolo says he's not one. Sanji then thinks, she's talking to her. She then says, no way she'll let a pirate like Zolo keep the Wado. They then begin to trade blows with the sword as Luffy and Sanji run off, as Sanji remarks that he'd never strike a lady. Um, Zolo and Toshigi begin to fight more, and he eventually backs her up against a wall and pins her to it with his sword. Zolo then says, nice try, kid, but the Wado and him will never part. She looks hurt as he runs off.
So wow, they cut off a bit of dialogue with this. So yeah, yeah. So obviously, Tashigi runs into them, and she goes after Zoro, trying to get the Wado Ichimonji from Zoro, and then they start to fight. And obviously, Sanji, being the gentleman that he is, he's like angry about Zoro getting into a fight with a woman because he's all about chivalry and not hitting a woman and all of that. So he's like really angry at Zoro. So Luffy has to drag him out. And then Zoro and Tashigi start to give blows to each other, and then then Zoro is able to pin Tashigi to the wall, and Zoro said, "You're never like." He basically tells Tashigi that she's not going to get the Wado Ichimonji from him, and they actually, and then Tashigi then just tells Zoro, "Why don't you just kill me right now? You have me pinned. You defeated me. Why don't you kill me right now?" and and then the thing is it reminds him of Kuina because one like Tashigi looks a
Yeah.
lot like Kuina, and she also sounds and speaks a lot like Kuina did because Kuina, one of her biggest frustrations was that she was a girl and her dad made all these comments about how he can only give the dojo to a male and all of this, and I think her father told Kuina about how eventually a man is going to get stronger than a woman. So Kuina has all this like internal angles that she's having to come with all these drawbacks because she's a girl, and so yeah, Tashigi says some similar things. Are you only not are you is the only reason you're not killing me is because I'm a girl and stuff, and then Zoro gets really pissed off because he's like, I'm not killing you because you look a lot like my friend from when I was a kid. Stop being a copycat. You're also speaking just like he basically tells Toshigi, you look exactly like her and you speak exactly like her. Stop being such a copycat. And then Toshigi's like, I'm not being the copycat. I don't know your friend. I never met your friend. She's the one who's being a copycat. And they kind of fight a little. They kind of bicker a little back and forth. Um, and then Zoro then just kind of runs off. And Tashigi's like a little pissed off because of all that. So yeah, it's yeah, due to the interactions between Zoro and Tashigi, people, One Piece fans often tend to ship them off just because of all of that. So yeah, but yeah, they basically get into a little squabble because she reminds him so much of Kuina. She doesn't know who she is, and stuff. So yeah, so he runs out. So yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they did. They briefly mentioned that one time that he reminded her of Kuina, but that's the only time they mentioned it. And yeah, so it wasn't in this episode. This was a few episodes ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Luffy and Sanji continue on as Chaser blocks their path and says, "Remember, you will have to take me first." Luffy laughs and says, "What? You really meant that?" Chaser then tells him to get ready. It then cuts to Nami and Usopp, and they make it aboard the ship amongst ongoing fire, and the Navy starts firing mortars, or I guess like the cannon, and that kind of doesn't make sense. How all of a sudden, I mean, it's still raining. All of a sudden, they can now shoot. Uh, but yeah, they begin shooting it. The ship shakes back and forth as Nami begins to lift the sail. Nami says they're not leaving, but moving out of range, hopefully. As Sanji shows up, remarking at Nami's looks, she warns Sanji to look out behind him as he turns around and knocks out some men. Usopp then jumps into the water and starts picking off some of them with his slingshot. And then it cuts back to Luffy telling Chaser, "So I just have to beat you up, then I can go to the Grand Line." As Chaser then shoots smoke at him, pinning him up into the air and dropping him to the ground. Chaser says, "Didn't I tell you you have powers from the smoke fruit?" Or, yeah, I have powers from the smoke fruit as Luffy performs. Sorry, he calls it the smoke fruit. As Luffy performs Gum Gum Rapid Fire, it hits Chaser several times, pushing him back slightly, but Chaser blocks it with smoke coming out of his mouth and then performs what he calls a smoke strike. Luffy then performs a Gum Gum Blast, hitting him in the chest, and then Chaser teleports and lifts him up, slamming him into the ground, calling him weak. At this point, the hooded man shows back up, and Chaser calls him Dragon, and the hooded man, aka Dragon, says he wouldn't be so sure that like Luffy's weak.
So, oh wow, that's interesting that they say this. I guess I should have probably mentioned this earlier. So basically, right after Luffy survives the execution or the attempted execution, Luffy talks about how he may be lucky or how he was lucky. And yeah, so actually, I have a quick question. So did they cut out the part where is it Richie the Lion and I think it's Kabaji the Lion Tamer? Did they cut out that part where they were trying to light the ship on fire?
Yeah, that wasn't in it.
Oh, okay. Because like the thing was, the Buggy Pirates. One of the things that they tried to do as like kind of like a backup was to burn down the ship so that the crew couldn't run away. Um, but yeah, basically, right as they were about to light the ship on fire, it started raining, and so like Kabuki basically failed um, because like the flames were constantly out, and then he tells Richie to go attack Usopp or Nami, and then Usopp then does a slingshot right at Kawaji, but it's like a egg, and it falls somewhere else, and it cracks open, and Richie the tiger uh, goes after the egg and starts licking the egg. At this point is when Usopp and Nami just go into the ship. Like basically the Marines are chasing them and they start shooting and like Kabuji is like trying to dodge the bullet and Nami and Usopp they get on the ship and obviously they try to set sail just to kind of get out of the way. So get back to Luffy and Sanji. I think in the anime, yeah, the Sanji does kind of go ahead while Luffy is fighting Smoker. I don't think that was the case in the manga at all. I think both Luffy and Sanji were both fighting Smoker. And this is the first time that they're fighting Smoker in the manga. So Luffy doesn't know about his fight. So Luffy sends a punch and it like just goes through him. Sanji I think tries to kick and it goes through him. And then Smoker talks about how he ate the. I mean, in the anime they actually say he ate the smoke fruit, but in the manga they say he ate the plum fruit. Actually, yeah, he ate the plum fruit, and he's like a smoke man now. Um, and then basically, he gets the upper hand, like you said, and he gets on top of Luffy and pins him down. Luffy's like face down on the ground, and Smoker mentions about how Luffy's luck just ran out, and right as he was about to pull his baton, you see Dragon. You see the mysterious guy come in, and he grabs, like basically as Smoker grabs the baton, Dragon, the guy grabs the baton, and he's like, I don't know if his luck I don't know about that to the luck comment. I don't know if his luck actually ran out. And he looks up, and Smoker says, "It's you. Why are you helping him?" And then Dragon talks about how like he should be someone who's going to proceed like to block someone's dream or something. And yeah, I think go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, that's what kind of happens. Chaser asks, "What's he doing here? Why is he helping?" Dragon says, "Helped him. At least I haven't yet." We then see an onslaught of green smoke surrounding the village, sending everyone into the air. It subsides and is followed by more pouring rain. All of a sudden, Luffy, Sanji, Zolo, and Usopp and crew see Nami sailing off, and Luffy then performs a gum gum rocket, slinging all four of them aboard the ship. Nami says nice work as she sails off. Uh, Chaser then looks onwards and says there's something rotten in the air. This Straw Hat Man, Dragon showing up, and it being the 22-year anniversary since Gold Rogers was done in. Dragon then looks onwards and says, go sail off and discover what destiny awaits him. Chaser then says he has a lot of nerve to let him go. Dragon says he has a lot of nerve to try to keep him from fulfilling his fate. Chaser then tells the Navy to ready his ship and tells they then say HQ would never let them do that. Chaser says I could care less. Toshigi then says she's going too as she wants revenge on Zolo. We then see Buggy and crew aboard their ship and they head towards the Grand Line at Buggy's request. Then finally, Luffy ship begins to sail onwards towards a lighthouse, and Luffy asks if they're at the Grand Line yet. Of course, they're not there quite yet. They all then put their foot on a barrel and proclaim what they want. Luffy says, becoming the king of the pirates. Sanji says, finding the Great Blue. Zolo says, becoming the best swordsman. Nami says, mapping out the entire world. And then Usopp says, becoming brave. And that's the end of the episode.
Okay, so yeah, basically, Smoker. So basically, as Smoker's reaching out to his baton, Dragon stops him, and he says, "I don't know about if his luck ran out." And then you see all this like green smoke, and the green smoke is lifting everyone. Like it lifts Alvida and Buggy and
Mm-hmm.
their crew. It lifts Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, all of them, and it throws them into the ocean. Yeah, basically, it actually throws. Basically, like Usopp's in a battle with the Marines at this point, so he jumps into the water to go attack some of the Marines, and then you see Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji finally reach the port, and then the three of them then jump on the ship basically with Luffy's slingshot, and Usopp gets on, so at this point, Smoker hasn't revealed his name yet. And then so yeah, they get on the ship and leave. And then at this point is when Smoker starts commenting about how like the Straw Hats like were able to escape, how like he was able to survive that execution. And then he questions the mysterious man, why did you help him? And at that point, it's when he yells out, "Why did you help him, Dragon? Tell me," or something like that. And then Dragon there's this speech about how like you shouldn't stop a man's dream, you should see where his dream is about to go, and this was his lucky day or something like that, and he goes off, and then yeah, so then the Buggy Pirates decide to go after Luffy back into the Grand Line, and Buggy talks about how it's nostalgic going back into the Grand Line, and Smoker then decides that he is also going to go after Luffy into the Grand Line, and um, Tashigi says she wants to come too because she's going to like she wants to get another match with Zoro and to kind of I guess like take the Wado Ichimonji back from Zoro and stuff. And so yeah, everybody's going into the Grand Line, and then yeah, so then you go back to Luffy, Nami, Zoro, and Usopp, Sanji, and they are pretty close to the Grand Line. You see like some uh, it's not floodlight, lighthouse. They see
Yeah.
the lighthouse, and they're like the lighthouse that takes you to the Grand Line or something. And then yeah, that's when they all put their feet on their barrel, and each proclaim, like Luffy says, I'm going to be the king of the pirates. Zoro says, I'm going to be the greatest sportsman, or sorry, greatest swordsman. Sanji says, I'm going to go find the yellow blue. And Nami says, I'm going to map out the entire world or the entire Grand Line. And then Usopp says, I'm going to become a great warrior of the sea.
Gotcha.
And yeah,
All right. Well, yeah, there we go. Season 1 is done.
yeah. Oh man. Um, as we mentioned earlier, and as you guys kind of saw, like season one, in terms of like how difficult it would be to adapt into live action, like it's probably the easiest one. It's actually the most tame,
Yeah, I would
not
agree.
yeah. It's only gonna get more insane moving forward.
But the I mean, Luffy's gum gum thing's still got to be, done correctly.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'm
yeah,
honestly I will be in. I mean, I want to finish the Cowboy Bebop one. But yeah, I definitely am looking forward to this just so I can. I mean, now I'll have three reference points, right? I'll be comparing the four kids to the Funimation to the live action. So yeah, it'll be interesting. So,
yeah. I'm gonna
and
be
in your
interested.
case, you're comparing all of them, like all three, including the manga, to the Netflix. So yeah, it's just interesting how
Yeah,
many different adaptations.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the live action goes. The other thing with the live action is that some of the actors in the live action are kind of older, like the actress. So to kind of give everyone an age, so right now in One Piece, Luffy is 17 years old, Usopp is 17 years old, Nami is 18 years old, Zoro and Sanji, they're 19 years old, right? So they're all like young kids. Um, and Nami, I think part of the reason she's 18 is because some of the things that we're going to see, I mean, obviously it's not going to be in 4 Kids, but some of the things she does later on, I think putting her at 18 is probably a good idea. Um, but yeah, but like the actress who's portraying Nami, she's like 28. I think the actor who's portraying Luffy, I think he's pretty close to Luffy's age at 17. But like the thing is, like Luffy's 17 for forever, a
Oh
bunch of
yeah,
seasons he's 17, and now in after the time skip he's 19, and he's still 19, you know.
yeah,
So it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to be one of those things where they're constantly refreshing the cast, or if they're going to have one cast all throughout. Then again, the TV show Hannah Montana had like a 36-year-old actor act as a like a 16 or 17-year-old kid, so you know, who knows. And it's not just Nami. I think the actor who portrays Sanji, he's actually like 27 or something. He's pretty old. Um,
yeah. He's nearing
so yeah,
death.
it's going
He's
to be
he's
interesting
nearing
to
his
see how
deathbed
all
at
that
27.
unfolds.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, um,
yeah. It'll
yeah,
be interesting.
yeah,
It's gonna be interesting seeing what I mean. Like this next season, I only have 4 episodes. see, it's gonna be interesting hearing what the hell they cut out.
Oh, I looked at some of the episode list for the four kids, and I need it, and I'm glad I did look. Because straight off the bat, and I'll probably mention this in the next episode that we
Yeah.
do. Um, they cut out a filler arc. Again, it's just a
Okay.
filler,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about the filler arc. It's the actual canon arc that comes after that.
Uh,
But you know, um, yeah, I'll catch up with everyone on all that they skipped, and I think I need I think and it's good that you provided me the list of episodes and the names
yeah.
because oh man, the amount of things that they cut off from the original. Oh,
Yeah. There's a bunch of episodes coming up where they're literally there's like it's like 10 episodes in a row almost where they're combining 3 episodes into one. So yeah, it's gonna get crazy. So brace yourself, everyone.
yeah, I'm not really worried about them cutting out the filler arc because
Yeah.
obviously it's a filler arc. I don't care. Um, what I am concerned about is the canon arcs that they're cutting off. So that's gonna be the pain points for me. Yeah, I'm glad I have like the list of episodes because yeah, I'm gonna have to like, oh man, yeah, it's a bunch of stuff that they skip. I'm interested to yeah, it's gonna be a bunch of stuff that they skip. So yeah, I'm interested to see what how they do it. So yeah, I guess yeah, that covers season one. It's a long episode, but hey, it's the season finale, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back in 2 weeks, maybe, depending on how these holidays go. But either way, we should be back not too long after.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see you then. Thanks for listening, everyone. Later.